Well, today we're going to talk about solitude. I don't know about you, but at least for most of my adult life, solitude is a word I've had a love-hate relationship with because for me, listen to the birds, for me it has everything to do with not having anything to do. And quite honestly, I haven't enjoyed that for decades. I have defined how great my life is at different points by how much I have on my calendar. And I am facing the first month of retirement, semi-retirement, but closer to fully retired than to semi. And I'm trying to make myself look at life, look at the time that I've been given with a different viewpoint. Well, hi, I'm Laura, and welcome to the channel. This is Smart Women, Smart Conversations, and we stop a couple times a week to talk about the changes that we all face as we face our new normal in our golden years. Life does slow down. It can still be fast-paced for us, but we're always judging ourselves based on what our past was, how busy we were, how many social engagements, how many invitations, how many things we had to do. And while we love to complain about having too much to do, it truly kept us going. It kept us, for me, it was an adrenaline rush, getting up in the morning and knowing I had a couple of different things I had to do, looking forward to lunch, looking forward to meetings, having to be somewhere, anticipation. So, how do you go from that, whatever kept you busy, to having, quite frankly, a ton of free time? How do you retrain yourself to enjoy solitude? And I'm certainly not an expert. I am walking this path for the very first time. And as much as I like to think that I knew this day was coming, if you watched my video a couple weeks ago, you saw that we locked the doors to our family business, and it was the end of decades. I had worked for that company since 1996, and that was my full-time job. I do some other things on the side like many of you, but that was my full-time job. Get up every morning, go to work, 5 o'clock, head home. So now here I am with free time on my hands. And it's been a continuation of a love-hate relationship. Some days, and I haven't been into this for a long time, but some days I'm pretty excited that I have nothing on my calendar. I'm learning to say no to the things that I don't want to do because I'm getting more comfortable with being alone and enjoying time with me, myself, and I. I often think I said yes to everything and anything because I didn't know what to do with myself if I didn't have somewhere to go or something to do. So I think that's what I'm going to struggle with the most as I navigate this new thing called retirement. And what I want to do is be intentional, right? I want to have a plan because that works for me. So when I say not having anywhere to go or nothing to do, I mean, I have no requirements. I get to do what I want to do, at least for a while, until I figure out if, what, where, when I want to do something next. So how do you accept having free time, but be willing to truly embrace the fact that you're free and you don't have to say yes to fill up your calendar? How do you stop yourself from being afraid of being alone? Now, I know many of you, and I've seen all the comments, we're all coming at this thing called old age from we've taken different journeys, we've had different experiences. So for some of you, it's not an option, right? You are alone. Whether you lost your spouse, whether your children live far away, maybe you didn't have children, Maybe you never married, whatever the case. As we get older, we get circumspect, right? We look back on our life, and so I think we see ourselves at a different stage, quite naturally. We don't have the stamina we used to have. We need a little more sleep. We like eating dinner at 5 o'clock. Never thought the day would come, but it's here. Um, we like a nap when we get a chance. That's kind of crazy. How did I go from working 10 hours a day some days to now needing a nap at 2 o'clock in the afternoon? So I'm okay with saying no to just plugging things in on my calendar, because I'm understanding that just being alone, just taking a walk, breathing in deep, doing some calisthenics, some exercises on my walk makes me happy. I get a surge of positive energy. And I'm realizing more and more that so much of it is happening in my head. It's not happening the way I thought it would happen. I thought I would feel different. I thought I would be different. I thought I would start enjoying other things. I'm not quite there yet. I'm going to get there, because that's my goal, to keep going, to keep doing things. But in the meantime, one of my goals has now become learning to be by myself, right? Learning to spend time alone. Learning to enjoy quiet or the sounds of nature. So for those of you who follow the channel, I'm going to do a little sweep here. You can see I'm obviously not in Texas right now. I had the opportunity to travel to Scotland, where our ancestors are from, with my elderly mother and father. They need some help traveling now. And so with me having more time on my hands, I was able to get away with them, both my husband and I. My husband's actually celebrating his 70th birthday. I'm gonna kind of hold, it's tracking me, but I'm hoping you can see the beautiful lake behind me. And so we just took a couple of days, some family time away, and it's really been perfect, because walking at home isn't going to look like this. Quite the opposite. Texas is very dry and very kind of uninteresting, at least where I live. No offense to Texas. Lived there a very long time. But this is heaven, right? All the rain, the water, the greenery. A pheasant just flew out and scared the living daylights out of me. I screamed so loud. I wish I'd caught it on camera. That would have been so funny. But just the sounds and I had an acorn fall on my head, and I looked up and there were a bunch of grouse that were just wrestling back and forth and fussing with each other, and they were dropping acorns because the tree was shaking back and forth. And I thought, normal me would have been out here power walking, and I wouldn't have stopped to listen to anything. And I've been walking and taking pictures of ferns, taking pictures of, grasses that I'd never seen before, just because they look wild and different. And listen, I hope you can hear in the background. They're not really waves, but it's just the water kind of hitting up against the rocks on the shore. So solitude today, even though it's a little overcast, solitude is not looking too bad, because I've been missing out on a lot. And I think when you have that time to open yourself up, you realize that you have been missing things because you didn't have the time to pay attention to them. I've been watching a lot of videos on YouTube. I've shared that before. I'm trying to maneuver my way through this new normal that I'm facing. And so I watched some videos. Having been out here a couple of days now, I started watching a couple of channels that middle-aged women and hiking. And I picked up a lot of tips. There's a lot of stuff happening out here. Old trees that look like old men. Just things that I never would have noticed before, because I never took the time, never had the time I wanted to be busy doing fun stuff, interesting stuff, cool stuff, neat stuff, busy stuff, and being alone, being by myself, wasn't on that list. So I didn't place any value in it. So after 50 years of working, 50 years of working. I'm 67, so yeah, a good 50 years of working. But really the last 40 years, 45 years, I haven't wanted to be alone, because when I sat down by myself, I got in my head about all the things that I needed to do, wanted to do, should do. Like, who am I to be sitting on the sofa watching TV? Because I have a million things to do. And now it's really dangerous because, at least when I was a younger working woman, we didn't have Netflix where you could sit down for an afternoon and watch 6 episodes and bang out the entire show. Thank heavens we didn't have binge watching back then, because I can't imagine the tug at my soul to sit on the sofa and just spend time watching TV. But now I'm a little worried about that. I don't want to do that. That's not solitude. That's not being alone. That's being entertained. And so it's really a deep dive into what it feels like to enjoy being by ourselves. Well, I hope that you'll subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you stopping by. I'm going to do a couple of videos while I'm here in Scotland, and it's amazing. I'm cold, my face is chilled, I've got a scarf on. A girl from Texas with a scarf on. It's a beautiful thing. But I appreciate you stopping by. I appreciate you following my journey a little bit as I get used to being semi-retired. And I look forward to seeing you again on the channel real soon. Take care, enjoy the peace and quiet. Bye-bye.